Hello, everybody. Welcome to Championship Predictions Round 30. And Sam Parkin, it is getting dramatic in here. Why, I hear you say? Because I drew level on the weekly last week. It's now 13 all with 3 draws thrown in. I had a 9-5 win. You had Bristol City, Blackburn, bob on 2-1. I got a nil right, Sam, Stoke and Oxford. And I also had Coventry, Watford at 2-1. That gave me a 9-5 win. So we're level on the weekly. Also in the aggregate, it's 213 to me, 215 to you. Do you want to take your jacket off, Sam? Because it looks like it's getting hot in there, mate.
It's funny that because I had a mate commentating on the Stoke-Oxford game, and just to wind him up pre-game, I said that's 0-0 written all over it.
It stinks of it.
But in the back of my mind, I thought I must have predicted 0-0, but I had 1-1. So I was devastated when I went back over the results because I was like, yeah.
Mate, I'm just looking back. I predicted first. So you might have wanted 0-0 and had to take 1-1.
I would have done, certainly. Yeah. So, unfortunately, it wasn't to be. But, for the viewer, I'd like to have everyone on the edge of the seats come the early summer, end of spring.
Sam Parkin putting the viewers on the edge of their seats and defenders on their asses throughout his career. How about that? Get involved in the comments. Give yourselves 3 points for a correct result. Give yourself 1 point if you get the correct outcome, home, away, or draw. Give yourself a bonus point. I was worried that Sam was going to get one in Swansea Norwich at one point there. He played for 3-2 there, and it was 3-1 going into the last 10 minutes. That would be a bonus point if any of your predictions have got 5 or more goals. Sam, you are up first, mate. Friday night football in the Northwest is Blackburn versus Preston.
Oh, well, Preston are proving themselves very difficult to beat at the moment, aren't they?
And to predict.
Certainly had an upturn. I just think low scoring this. Derby. Was it 1-1 the previous? That was the
strange game where Osmajic got suspended, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm thinking of who was the Weimann goal against? I digress. Burnley. There you go. Okay. I am going to play a 1-1 here, mate. It could very well be a marginal victory for one or the other, but I will go slap bang in the middle, 1-1.
I'm going to go rogue, Sam. On the basis, Blackburn are trending down, even though I rarely go against John Eustace, especially at home. And I've underestimated Preston a few times and had them losing and they've drawn away. And the results have been better than I thought. So I might go for an away win here, just to shake things up. And you were telling me before we started recording that 2-1 is a good result for an away win. So I'll nick your logic and lock that in. Blackburn 1, Preston 2 on the Friday night. And it is Oxford versus Bristol City. So every bit of logic, Sam, says that Oxford are on a really good run and they're never, ever going to lose again. Bristol City are good, but better at home than away from home, like a lot of teams are this season. And Bristol City have about 15 players that used to play for Oxford as well, and the manager as well. Am I going to go for an Oxford win? I am. Oxford 1, Bristol City 0, Sam.
Yeah, similar chain of thought. Didn't even factor in the Liam Manning fact. I'll go 2-1. Very similar. Gary Rowett can use that, I'm sure, to motivate his squad again. And Bristol City, as we spoke about on the Championship check-in, far and away a more threatening bunch in front of their own fans at Ashton Gate. So I'm going to go 2-1 Oxford.
Plymouth versus Tony Mowbray's West Brom now. And that is important.
Let's go for lightning to strike twice here. Let's go for West Brom to be fun now under Mowbray. Certainly that 11 that he put out the other day, Swift and Wallace back in the mix. Micah Johnson looking like his old self a little bit as well, which is good to see. I'm going to go for fun down in Devon and Argyle to get something again. 2-2. Same as the Sunderland result. 2-2.
Do you know what? I might take a 3-2 away win.
Don't mind it.
I think we're both now Mowbray's back. It's going to be both. We're just going to enjoy the fact that having had to predict under 1.5 goals for every West Brom game for the last 2 years, that we can be a bit free with this. So yeah, I'll go for Plymouth to be in the game, both teams to score, and West Brom to get the win. Plymouth 2, West Brom 3, which takes us to Watford versus Norwich. Obviously, a big narrative about Tom Cleverley and Pozzos and all of that. I think Watford have a good record against Norwich, but maybe it's a good record at Carrow Road. I can't quite remember. But I've just given Norwich the big up on the check-in podcast. So this could be very problematic for Tom Cleverley, but I'm going to go for an away win here, Sam. I don't know when Science is back. He's probably still got another couple of games suspended, but Sargent there. Let's go Watford 1, Norwich 3. Sam, what do you think of that?
Yeah, it's probably what I would have done. Maybe 2-1 to Norwich, but I think it's a difficult one to call this, and for that reason, I'm happy to flip it just for the beauty of the prediction show. I'll go for Watford to win. I agree with you. The disruption, Norwich coming back into a little bit of form with Sargent. I've got to give them a goal. I'll go 2-1 Watford.
Derby versus Sheffield United.
Oh. Well, I was quite interested to see how Derby went at Cardiff the other day. Obviously lost, and it sounded like it was a really entertaining game. Yates and Salverson, two-pronged attack. Obviously yielded a goal, combining the two of them. Sheffield United with more options now, more goal power. I'll follow what you just did. 3-1 Sheffield United.
Okay. I think you might get a slight trend up from Derby. By God, they need one. I think Salverson will make a difference. But I'm on the bounce back for Sheffield United after the shock defeat against Hull. We tend to give Derby a goal in these, don't we? Just with the set play threat. But obviously Nelson's not there, but maybe Salverson replaces that. So I'm going to conservative up your prediction. It's not the right use of language, but I'll make your prediction more conservative and make it 2-1 to Sheffield United, which is going to, it's already problematic for Paul Warne, but it's going to make it more problematic. Hull versus Stoke. I think you might have to go with Hull in this one after the win at Sheffield United, although it's going to be low margin with Mark Robbins involved. So maybe I'll call it a draw. Ruben Sellers will be more than happy with 4 points from Sheffield United away and Stoke at home. 1-1.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a narrow hole win or it's a draw in my mind as we sit here today. So I'll happily take the 1-0 home victory.
Leeds versus Cardiff.
I can't think of they got a point at Millwall, didn't they? Scoring late before the win over Derby. So they're 7 points from the last 3, Cardiff. So they come in a little bit of form. So I'll give them a goal for that reason. Robinson's obviously absolutely on fire in front of goal at the moment, but I think Leeds back in front of their home fans be too strong. Do you know what? Let's have a bit of fun. 4-2 Leeds.
That's unbelievable. That will be the most well-deserved bonus point ever won, I think. So let me do exactly the opposite and not have fun and be really boring. You and I have surfed the, should I go 1-0 Leeds or 2-0 Leeds at home? So I think I'll go 2-0 Leeds in this one. I just feel they're nicely calibrated and they're so good at home. And yes, I acknowledge Robinson's brilliant at the moment, but I think it's going to be difficult for Cardiff to make chances at Ellen Road. 2-0 Leeds. Millwall versus QPR. Oh, God. This is a really tricky one to call, Sam. I'd back QPR if it was at Loftus, but it isn't. Disappointing one. Are they going to bounce back? Millwall did the job, didn't they? You pointed out they've got no right backs, have they? Millwall, so they're a little bit stretched. Great goal.
But the right back was the best player on the pitch the other day, Kramer. Boy, they signed from Brentford.
Yeah. A great goal, by the way, by the Serbian lad whose name's escaped.
Ivanovic.
Thank you. I don't know what to do, mate. I'm just going to call a Desmond because I've got no clue. 2-2.
Yeah, Millwall defended really well. Tanganga, amazing once more. But there were some other, good performances. Kramer, I mentioned Connolly, really good. They obviously go to Portsmouth tonight as we record.
Oh, good point. Yeah, sorry, we're not predicting that today because this comes out on Wednesday.
Which I think is a really tough game for them, especially with the injuries that are mounting up for Millwall, and given that Pompey rested a few at the Hawthorns the other day. So I'm going to go with the premise that they'll get nothing tonight. So therefore, point is probably realistic against QPR, improving QPR at the weekend. 1-1, Millwall 1, QPR 1.
Portsmouth versus Burnley, a game with that caveat you've just raised.
Straight in, no problem. Pompey to maybe win tonight. 0-0, do them fine at the weekend against Burnley. 0-0.
In which case, I've got to take the Burnley away win and clean sheet as well, haven't I? If you're taking the draw, because I'm not having a 1-1 in that. Yeah, Pompey are good going forward, but yeah, the real quiz for Pompey is tonight as we're recording against Millwall in that rearranged game. So I'll take Portsmouth 0, Burnley 2, although I maintain they've got to concede some goals at some point. It's just getting ridiculous now. It's Sheffield Wednesday versus Luton for me, and I think this is going to be a home win landslide, isn't it? I mean, you saw Luton in the flesh. You think if they're going to do good work for their trend up, that I'm still kind of expecting to happen, it's going to be done at the Kenny. But off they go to Hillsborough, and I think Danny Roll versus Matt Bloomfield, with Matt Bloomfield just in the door, is a Danny Roll win for me. Sam, 3-1 Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, everything's clearly not right at either club. Don't know exactly where you'd look first. I think you know where you'd look first at Sheffield Wednesday, given everything that's come out the last couple of weeks. But Danny Roll's clearly not 100% happy, is he? But still able to get a tune out of his side the other day at QPR. The problems are greater, obviously, in the dressing room, on the pitch at Luton at the moment. I don't think this is going to turn around overnight. I hope that Matt Bloomfield can get some results and get some consistency, but they're at a low ebb at the moment. Probably at a stage where being away from Kenilworth Road might help. Okay. And that sounds mad because they've lost 11 on the bounce, 12 on the bounce, or whatever it is away. But it was pretty obviously naturally negative, vociferous at the full-time whistle the other day, directed towards the players. Obviously, Matt Bloomfield will get a stay of execution in that regard, rightly so, because he's just through the door. But it's not going to turn around overnight. 3-1, you go. I'll go 2-0.
Swansea versus inform Coventry.
Yeah, I think the best bet would to go for the safety of the team in form, and I suppose there's a bit of disarray around Swansea at the moment. So for that reason, I will go narrow Coventry win, 2-1. Problems mounting up.
Part of me wants to just flip this just for peak Championship stupidity, because obviously things are mounting up at Swansea and Luke Williams has got problems, and we think, like you said, new era if Matt Grimes leaves, and Coventry looking for a fourth straight win. And part of me thinks Swansea will win then, won't they? Because the Championship's stupid. But I can't do it. Is Coventry really going to win 4 in a row? I think mightn't they? Let's do it. You've taken a nice 2-1, so I'll take a 1-0 away win, which will be very problematic for Luke Williams, won't it? Finally, it is Boro versus Sunderland, and this is an ITV game on Monday night. So we hope the Monday night football is slightly more dramatic and full of action than the game we all witnessed last night. Boro Sunderland. So we did the return leg as a watch along when Chris Riggs scored the back heel, didn't he? And I felt Regis Lebris schooled Michael Carrick a little bit on that. I think he played right into his hands and they laid the trap and fell into it. Are they going to do the double, Sam? I'm not sure they are. I think I might play the draw on this one. A low-scoring draw, which sounds like a 1-1.
Have I had a 2-2 yet? Yeah, I did Plymouth West Brom. I think 2-2. Yeah, I don't think I can separate these two. I mean, I think Middlesbrough are a little bit inconsistent. Possibly no Latte Lath for injury,
Oh,
or
really?
injury and possible move. I mean, there's a lot of interest in him, big money as well, but that would be a huge gamble, wouldn't it, to let your talismanic goal scorer go at this juncture? But yeah, I think I'm content to go for a draw here, 2-2.
There you go. Those are your 12. With the temperature heating up in the predictions, you get involved in the comments. You can copy and paste the fixtures out of the description down there. Score yourself as normal. 1 point correct outcome, 3 points for correct scoreline, 4 points, a bonus point. And I love this one from Sam, 4-2. He's gone for Leeds Cardiff. That will be a cracker.
Has anyone scored 2 at Ellen Road this season?
I'm not
Portsmouth.
sure.
Portsmouth got 3, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a weird old game on the opening day,
yeah.
but yeah, your point stands.
Mm.
Get involved in the comments. Don't forget, you can check out more of Sam on the channel over on the Championship Checking podcast, which in your reality here came out yesterday. And we'll be back next week with another couple of shows.